Now, Channel 8 Eyewitness News, Sports.
Well, what do you know? Another snow day on signing day here in Nebraska. The Huskers wrapped up their 2016 recruiting class today, the second under Mike Riley. Here's how the class breaks down. 21 total signees from across the country, 2 of those from right here in Nebraska. There are also 2 transfers. Additionally, 9 walk-ons. Scout.com has the Huskers 2016 class ranked 6th in the Big Ten and 28th nationally. You can view the entire class and the walk-ons on our website, klkntv.com. Quarterback Patrick O'Brien and defensive back Lamar Jackson may be the headliners in this year's class, but offensive line was an area of emphasis for the Huskers. Nebraska graduated 4 seniors up front last year. They inked 4 offensive linemen in this year's class, including Matt Farniok from Sioux Falls.
I like the number and I like the talent. You know, I think that, you know, as you look at guys, we probably have 3 interior guys, centers and guards, and then Farniok is a tackle. And, you know, so I think that gives us some versatility there. I like I think there's some toughness in that group. I think that there's talent in that group, and I like the number that we got. So that was a good job by our staff.
As I noted earlier, just 2 in-state signees this year. Norfolk Catholic tight end David Engelhop flipped from Wyoming to Nebraska on Tuesday. Ashland Greenwood's Ben Stilley committed to the Huskers last June. Today, he signed his letter of intent to play football for Nebraska. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, and could play both sides of the ball, even though he says he prefers defensive end. He had offers from Iowa, Iowa State, and Wyoming.
I'd say it's most kids' dreams that ever play high school football in Nebraska, so it's good to be able to represent most of those kids. Just the relationships I was able to build with them, they just really make you feel like you're at home. I'm sure I'll plan on redshirting, just learning the defensive scheme and putting some size on.
Josh Harvey from Scout.com will need a vacation after today, trust me. First, he gives his overall thoughts on this year's class.
When taking a look at this class overall, Nebraska takes 21 total players. And I'd have to say I'd give this class a B. A lot of people will remember them missing some key players down the stretch, like a Desmond Fitzpatrick, a wide receiver that ends up going to Louisville, or an Isaiah Simmons who visited multiple times out of Kansas. But landing a player like Lamar Jackson on the Tuesday before National Signing Day was really big for this staff, because he was the type of guy that every school in the country wanted, an All-American. And he's the type of player out west that has a lot of star power behind his name. He's going to be able to help future classes going forward when it comes to this coaching staff. Nowadays, recruiting is speeding up, and it's really a 2-year process. So even though this was Mike Riley's first full class at Nebraska, they were still behind the 8 ball with a lot of recruits. I expect that to be different in 2017, and I expect them to be a lot higher in the rankings.
Thanks, Josh. Good work. Get some rest. Have fun at Super Bowl 50. Some news and notes from Mike Riley. Defensive end Joe Keels is transferring to Eastern Michigan. Defensive back Trey Mosley is transferring to Central Arkansas. Wide receiver Lane Hovey transferring to Montana. And linebacker Adrian Talon is leaving the program. Antonio Reed, Mick Stoltenberg, and DeMornay Pearsonell will all miss spring ball, and there are no Texas signees for the first time since 1983. Also, no JUCOs. Notable Division I players leaving the state from the area include Jared Bubach of Lincoln Christian, who was already enrolled at Arizona State. Gavin Rush of Aurora signed with Wyoming, and Nick Leonards of Lincoln Southwest signed with Kansas State. The Nebraska men hosting 4th-ranked Maryland tonight. Of course, Maryland head coach Mark Turgeon's parents live here in Lincoln. First half Duke transfer Rashid Suleiman penetrates, dishes to fabulous freshman Diamond Stone for the slam. Stone had 16 points, 10 boards. Other end, Siobhan Shields and 1 floater moved into 10th place on Nebraska's all-time scoring list tonight. He had 11 in the game. Nebraska forced 13 turnovers in the first half alone. Benny Parker on the break alley-oop for Andrew White. Ties it up at 27. Maryland led by 1 at the break. Second half we go. Tim Miles teed up early in the second half. Here's Suleiman going to get the transition dunk for the Terrapins. 2 of his 11 points. Terps up 47-41. Here come the Huskers, though. Siobhan Shields gets the hoop, putting Nebraska up 52-51, part of a 7-0 run. Now tied at 54. White with one of his 3 triples, 19 points, team high. Big Red up 57-54. Mello Trimble, the sophomore All-American, had a game-high 20. This Trey ties it back up at 57. Then the stone-cold dunk there from Diamond Stone. He had 8 block shots. Maryland had 13 as a team. Terps win 70-65.
We definitely put ourselves in a position to win the game defensively, and when you get turnovers, usually that gives you opportunity to get some easy baskets in transition, maybe get some threes in transition before the opposing defense can get set. So capitalizing is just focus and making the right decisions, which we did not do all the way around tonight. And if you had to attribute that loss to one thing, I would say just capitalizing off turnovers.
Creighton at number 3. Villanova 1 up in the Huskers, taking on the 3rd-ranked team. Mo Watson Jr. had a team-high 16, banks the 3 here. Jays led 21-20 in the early going, but Nova took over from there. They're tough to beat at home, tough to beat anywhere. They hit 16 threes. That's the most ever given up by Creighton. Chris Jenkins led Nova with 22. Wildcats blow it open to win 83-58. GPAC hoops tonight. Concordia at Nebraska Wesleyan. Let's start on the men's side. Travis Gieselman having a great year for the P-Wolves. Gets the tough take there, hooping the harm. Wesleyan up by 3 early on in this one between the two rivals. Jamie Pearson makes it a 1-point game on the other end for the Concordia Bulldogs. And Trey Bardsley, the Beatrice grad, had 29 points tonight, 3 here. Wesleyan trailing by 1. Another Bardsley 3. He's one of the nation's leading scorers, and he proved it tonight. 29 points, like I said. Wesleyan up by 1 now. Then Travis Gieselman hits a 3. Chandler Folkerts had 27 and 14 in a losing effort for Concordia as Wesleyan wins 96-83. P-Wolves and the Bulldogs on the women's side of things now. Pick it up in the 3rd quarter. Tight game. Felicia Tukolsky, the Norris grad, hooping the harm. 2-point lead for Wesleyan. Final seconds of the 3rd. Becky Mueller, Quinn Raggi down low, beats the buzzer. 43-41 after 3. 4th quarter. Courtney Cook, long 2. Wesleyan up by 4. 47-43, trying to knock off the 12th-ranked Bulldogs, but there's Brindley Dahm, 3-pointer as Concordia wins at 65-51.